The far left movement dedicated toward Palestine that is trying to actively sabotage the Harris campaign has stooped to new lows and is now campaigning against Kamala full-fledged and uploading ISIS-esque videos in which they hold one finger up with a mask on, issuing eerie threats about how they welcome Killer Kamala and Tim Walz to their city of Chicago. You can't make this up.
Democratic National Convention is coming to Chicago. It's where the Democratic Party's insiders and delegates come together to crown their next villain. This year, for the first time since 1968, the Democratic nominee will be chosen without a single American voting for them in the primaries, proving that your voice doesn't matter, only their agenda. This election season, Democrats are desperate to rally behind Killer Kamala, a supposedly left-wing candidate who's just as far-right as Trump on policies such as immigration and crime. It looks like Kamala has chosen her partner in crime. She chose Tim Walz as her genocidal running mate. If you didn't know, Walz was a former command sergeant who supported the war in Afghanistan. As home to the largest Palestinian diaspora in the country, we want to give Killer Kamala, her partners in crime, and her future VP a warm welcome to our city. We do not care who is on the ballot come this November. We will not be voting for either genocidal party. As the people of Chicago, we condemn in the strongest words possible the genocidal Democratic Party, which has shown no reservations in materially supporting the Israeli genocide in Gaza. It has been over 300 days since the start of the genocide and over 76 years of colonization by the Zionist entity. We, the people, demand Mayor Johnson and Governor Pritzker to cancel the DNC. We will no longer accept empty gestures by politicians who have been bought out by weapons manufacturers and pro-Israel lobbyists. If the Democratic Party loses in November, their genocidal policies will be blame alone. Stand united in our call for justice. We demand change and we will not be silenced. We charge genocide.
So the traitors have spoken. And I use the word traitors because that's exactly what these individuals are. I want you to think about what you saw in that video. He immediately talks about how your vote doesn't matter because Kamala Harris was not voted in some kind of primary. She didn't win the nomination, despite the fact that she was on the ticket with Joe Biden and she was who we were voting for to be president in the event that an 80-something-year-old president who's clearly declining, possibly has a health scare, emergency, or dies. Somehow she's not who we voted for. But nonetheless, he tries to imply that democracy was stolen from you by Kamala Harris being the candidate. Reeks of Russian propaganda to me. Then we also have the man trying to compare Kamala Harris to Trump on immigration and crime because, God forbid, someone tries to make sure our border is secure. I'm sorry, but regardless of what it is, we have to have a secure border, Democrat or Republican. Now, there are humane ways to go about conducting, the enactment of a secure border. There are ways to go about integrating dreamers who are in this country, people who have been in this nation as undocumented immigrants since they were children. There are ways to go about that in a polite and civil way that Trump has no intention of going about. But the idea that Kamala Harris is equal to Trump when it comes to crime and immigration is unbelievably dishonest. And that welcome to our city, that warm welcome to your city, as you get really up close to the camera with your mask on, you're making a thinly veiled threat to the vice president of the United States and the governor of Minnesota. The vice president. You call for an end to the cop city in Chicago. Well, what about the black Americans in Chicago who need strong policing to protect them from gang violence? Because you guys are having a hard time carrying out your unhinged pro-Palestine protests in Chicago, other Americans should suffer as a result. But that's exactly what this movement is all about. Making Americans suffer in the name of Gaza. I have sympathy and empathy for the people of Gaza, but right now, the United States comes first, and I have very little patience for a single traitor. I spent the last X amount of months calling out the Trumpites, the MAGA movement for compromising the Constitution, engaging in insurrection, betraying this country. I have very little room in my heart for more traitors. Zero room. Zero. I don't care who you are. MAGA, pro-Palestine, if you are willing to compromise democracy in the name of a single man like Donald Trump or in the name of a foreign nation like Gaza, Palestine, I have a problem with that. I have a significant issue with that. And we need to talk about the obvious. Here's the reality. We have a tiny subset of people in this country, and it's not just Muslim immigrants. It's because you can hear it in the guy's accent, the way he pronounces Gaza, the way he speaks in general. His accent is thick. It's not just immigrants who think this way. It's also like Americans who have like a strong heritage in this country. People who want to accelerate the end of American democracy to bring about their insane communist, socialist, isolationist takeover in which multipolarity springs and the East becomes, a significant enough global power to completely compete with the United States of America. These people want to see the end of the American hegemony completely. The reality is, this is an actual thing. Hassan Piker is one of them. He's another individual whose loyalty does not lie to the United States, but lies to foreign nations like Turkey. Someone who constantly excuses and enables nations like Russia and China. These people are real, and they exist on the far fringes of the left-wing movement. They do. Individuals who are more loyal to their home countries. People, Hassan was born in this state. He was born in this state because his parents were here. Then he moved back to, he's Turkish. The man does not like the United States, does not give a about the future of the United States, actively, turns his audience against Kamala Harris, refuses to put any sort of strong support behind the Democratic candidate. Hassan Piker is in no way, shape, or form invested in the future of the United States. And it's about time liberals grew a backbone and a spine and realized that we have traitors in our midst. It's not just MAGA, but we have lunatics who are Americans on the left who actively think it's okay to sabotage the United States in the name of Gaza. The reality is we have a small minority of people here who are completely unconcerned with the fate of the United States, and their first and foremost concern is what happens to Gaza. And if the United States crashes as a result of Trump being president, these people will pack their shit and move to the next Western country that doesn't have Trump in charge, or some radical lunatic like Trump in charge. These people do not care. And it's important for liberals, for Democrats to understand this is a problem. The Trumpites are not the only people who want to compromise American values, democracy, in the name of an entity that we do not swear fealty to. We swear an oath to the Constitution in this country, and Donald Trump is a clear and concise threat to that. And you have individuals who are literally swearing that they will do everything in their power to compromise Kamala Harris's campaign so Trump can win as punishment to the United States. Don't believe me? Watch.
I want to make one thing very, very, very clear. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure Kamala Harris doesn't win. If you want Donald Trump to win, say that. I will vote for Satan if I have to. I don't care who we got to deal with for the next 4 years, as long as you motherfuckers know that you f***ed up and you guys are going to deal with some type of repercussion for what happened for the last 10 months. I don't care who we vote for. I'm voting for independent candidate, either Justine or Cornel West. I know they're not going to win, but at least we'll take progress to hopefully one day having more than 2 parties and 2 candidates where we have a system with actual options. Until then, cope. We're going to make sure, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that does not win and the Democrat Party loses the election. You guys.
These are individuals who do not give a damn about what happens to the United States. I see these accelerationists on Twitter somehow naive enough to believe that if they sabotage Kamala Harris, they're going to enter into an America in which they have more options. If we, and listen to the language used, if they punish you, listen to the language used. These individuals do not perceive themselves to be a part of America. They're just here, enjoying the benefits of living in a Western nation in which they can say wild shit like this. And their goal is to punish you. It doesn't matter what you are. You can be a Palestinian American, a white American, a black American. These ideologically compromised lunatics and buffoons want to harm you. They want to punish you, and they believe themselves to be separate from you. They're not invested in the future of this country, and they're so naive and childish that they actually believe that if they compromise Kamala Harris's campaign and derail her campaign and bring about a Trump victory, they're going to bring about a better and brighter America for everybody. These are children. These people are grown ass children. They're little kids. If Donald Trump went, first and foremost, let's acknowledge something about pro-Palestine protesters who are trying to sabotage Kamala Harris. Let's talk about these people. They're afraid of Donald Trump and his supporters. Don't y'all think it's really interesting how these people never protest at a MAGA rally? You want to know how I know? I went to the Kamala Harris rally in Atlanta. They were out there screaming for hours. I don't know what kind of drugs this woman was on, but she showed up. I ain't gonna lie, she was looking kind of fly. She had the little, I forget that they have so many different variations. She was a Muslim woman, nice outfit. Screaming at the top of her lungs for hours. She didn't stop for air. I think she was even speaking like Arabic at some point. Like, I mean, this chick was she was on one for real. I don't know what she popped, but she was popping perks for real. She was popping in perks. After popping whatever she popped, she went on this like 3-hour long like rant about Gaza and Palestine, just, going crazy. Isn't it really interesting that they pull up to all of Kamala's rally talking shit, constantly trying to interrupt her, talk crazy, act the fool? And it's so interesting to me that y'all never do it to Trump. And I'll tell you why they don't do it to Trump. And many of them have indirectly admitted this on Twitter, but we all know why. Interrupt Trump while he talking, screaming about Gaza, and they gonna kick you in your motherfucking eye and elbow you in your throat. You know it's true. Everybody knows it's true. Interrupt Trump while he talking and see what happened to your ass. They gonna beat your ass. MAGA will beat your ass. Everyone knows it's true. They gonna fling a MAGA hat right in your eye and then beat your ass. Like, everybody knows it's true. And you know what Trump gonna do? Rough him up, get him out of here. He's gonna instruct his, in fact, Trump is such a mob boss over his insane cult. Trump doesn't have to say anything. All he has to do is just look at the people interrupting him, and they're gonna beat your ass. These people are cowards. They don't really believe in securing a safe and productive future for the people of Gaza. They want to be protesters and activists, and it's all about them. It's not about the people of Gaza, because if it was, they would actually be willing to bite a few bullets. The reality is, American foreign policy is not this simple. Number two, we can't just tell Israel what to do and threaten the end of any and all aid and funding and support in the event that they don't do what we want them to do. We're not going to be compromising our national security for Gaza, the same Gazans who started this new iteration of the war. And by the way, the guy behind the Abraham Accords, Trump, the guy who never ever consulted the Palestinians once, Trump, the guy who has never once even said the word ceasefire ever, and is basically told Netanyahu, look, when I get up in power, we about to wipe these people the fuck out. That Trump, you guys don't mind if he wins. You don't care about Palestinians. You are children. You don't take seriously the deaths over there. You don't. I do, because I can tell you this much. If Kamala loses and Trump gets up in there, it's the end of me and your ass. It's the end of the people of Palestine. It's the end of both. American democracy will be compromised and destroyed if Trump, slow walks his way back in there. And the people of Gaza, just kiss that goodbye. Just go on ahead and just drop a new map where the Gaza Strip is now part of Israel. Because that's what's going to happen. Trump does not care about the rule of law in his own country. What the makes you think he cares about the existence of Gaza? Trump does not care about the rule of law in his own country of birth and is willing to commit a coup to take power. What makes you think he cares about the people of Gaza? Use your brains. Your brains. But we constantly see this narrative over and over again. These people are determined to punish the American people, all in the name of Gaza and Palestine. They're angry about what's going on. Therefore, they're going to punish the American people in the name of Palestine and Gaza. And even though Donald Trump winning would spell out the end of not only American democracy, but possibly even the existence of Gaza and the people in it as we know it, they don't care. They absolutely do not care. I am not a nativist, but there are people who are in this country who do not take this country seriously. There are people who are more concerned about the nations that their parents are from or that they are from than the United States. Hassan Piker is a prime example, okay? There are people who care more about their home country that they're from than the United States. We have traitors in our midst. MAGA cares more about Donald Trump than the Constitution, than democracy, rule of law and order. And then we have lunatics on the left who are making thinly veiled threats toward the safety of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and then also saying they don't care what happens to this country. They're going to punish us. They're going to punish you. They're going to punish you, the American people, regardless of who you are, Palestinian, Egyptian, Jordanian, no matter where you're from, no matter your religion, Muslim, Christian. They're going to punish any American who abides by the rule of law, who wants to see a non-insurrectionist candidate win and reform this nation and bring it back on the right path. They want to punish you because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were willing to compromise American national security by completely destroying our relationship with Israel over a war that the Palestinians started. And we can go on and on about this history because the reality is it's not as cut and dry as people try to make it seem. The colonized versus the colonizer. It's not that simple at all. And furthermore, we all live in a colonialist nation. If you have such a big problem with colonialist countries, by all means, if you care so much about colonialism, you can pack your shit, give your home to a Native American family that doesn't want to live on a reservation anymore, and you can leave since you care so much about colonialism. By all means, go ahead. But that's not what it's about. It's not about colonialism. It's not about helping Palestinians. You people are not even sick and twisted. You're just dumb. You're just stupid. You don't think. You people, like, bro, y'all are just like Trump supporters. You think that no matter who wins, nothing crazy is gonna happen. You don't get it yet, do you? Like, it just hasn't sunk in for you pro-Palestine protesters. If Trump wins, you can kiss Gaza goodbye. You can kiss it, that little kiss you did at the end of it. You can repeat that with Trump and Gaza, because that's what's you can just kiss it goodbye. It's over with. It's done. Trump does not. I don't even think Trump has even uttered the word Palestinian in his life. I don't think he's ever acknowledged these people as deserving of some sort of any sort of independence, any sort of autonomy. I don't think Trump has ever once even spoken about them in that way. And yet here we have individuals trying to hold the United States hostage by promising to sabotage an individual who is running against Donald Trump, who intends to destroy democracy as we know it and install himself as a king with a corrupt Supreme Court and Congress at his back. And you think we have time to throw away the United States for Gaza? I'll tell you this. I don't give a damn who you are. A MAGA supporter whose family showed up on the fucking Mayflower, or a Palestinian American whose parents got here a generation ago. If you prioritize anything above the Constitution, you are my enemy and an enemy of the United States, point blank, period. I'm done with the patience. The left wing is too soft. Democrats are too soft. And y'all are giving Republicans points that they don't deserve. Because in response to people like this, you know what we do? Well, we're really trying, and you guys really need to just give us grace. Republicans stand 10 toes and say, fuck them niggas. That's why they're scared to go to a Trump rally. Let pro-Palestine protesters interrupt Trump when he's spewing lies and misinformation and see what happens. They gonna elbow you in your eye. It's just the truth. They gonna kick you in your throat, elbow you in your eye. They're gonna throw you down the bleachers. It's just the facts. And Trump don't even gotta say nothing. But you know he is. You know, rough him up. Get him at it. You know exactly what he's gonna egg it on, as he always does. Y'all are scared of Trump, and you're scared of Trump supporters. And yet you think that if Trump wins, you're gonna get some kind of brighter tomorrow. Y'all can't even confront the man when he's not president. You think you're gonna have the stones to say anything to Trump when he is president? No! When Trump wins, all these pro-Palestine folks are going to shut up. This is something about the left I want to talk about. I saw it in my video about why I left the right. I saw people in the comment section like, the fact that you had to change your mind, the fact that you even believe these things anyways is really disgusting, and I just can't support you. And it's like, you people, some of you left-wing people believe in this perfect little world that does not exist and has never existed in life. Like, it's like, by that logic, progressivism should never happen. Why should people ever change their mind? Why should anyone sign the Civil Rights Act? Why should anybody ever give women the right to vote? Like, why should anyone ever engage in progressivism? Because progressivism requires changed minds. It requires people to change their minds. And yet there are so many people with this mindset on the left that if we don't get everything we want right now, we compromise and destroy everything. Where do y'all get this mindset from? I'm genuinely curious as to where y'all learn this from. Who's teaching y'all this? Who is teaching y'all this mindset? People on the left are completely willing to hold the United States hostage if things aren't perfect exactly how they want it to be right now. You can never change your mind. You can never have a difference in opinion. It's always supposed to be perfect. The world is just supposed to just spawn as perfect. The problem I have with the left is y'all bare your teeth like wolves toward those who have changed their minds and want to help. People who are saying, look, I can't do the perfect thing in the world, but I want to help. Or maybe I was on the other side, but I've changed my mind. Y'all bare your teeth at them and attack them. But when it comes to stand against the people who haven't changed their minds, who are still your adversary, who are still on the side of destruction and evil and chaos, you're pussies. You're scared. You don't want to do shit. Like, it's the same shit like I said in my Why I Left the Right video. I saw a lot of people showing me smoke that y'all don't show them Republicans. Y'all don't show these niggas the same smoke. When I see the way that y'all treat Kamala Harris, I realize a lot of y'all far left people are cowards, bro. Y'all are cowards. You're scared. You are afraid to confront people who are even worse on Gaza than Kamala Harris and Joe Biden could ever be. Because you know them Trump supporters gonna jump off the bleacher and drop kick you. You know it's true. Everybody knows it. You know they're gonna beat your motherfucking ass. So instead of you actually protesting both candidates to make it abundantly clear, hey, we're serious about this, instead you protest the one who's actually willing to help you. Because a lot of liberals are cowards. Democrats have a significant lack of spine, but there's something about the leftists that's really cowardly. All this talk about revolution, and yet when an individual is threatening democracy as we know it, y'all are just like this. I don't want to do Trump. Scared of Trump. You scared of Trump. Just admit you are afraid of Donald Trump. You're scared of Trump and you're scared of Trump supporters. Just say that. Like, just say, I'm afraid of speaking up against Trump because I'm afraid he'll order his goons to put their boot in my ass. Just say that. Just say, I'm afraid of receiving a UFC combo from the Tims and Skips and Chips and Dans and Bubbas that follow Trump. You're scared. You are afraid of getting a spinning back kick from the MAGA soccer moms. Let's just tell the truth. You scared. Establish that. These people are cowards and terrorist sympathizers. And it's this, terrorists are the same way. They're afraid of real targets. That's why they threaten to blow up fucking Taylor Swift concerts and they blow up Ariana Grande These are people are terrorists. Terrorists. That's why Dylan Roof had to shoot up a black church. He couldn't go to some hood with gang members. He had to pick a bunch of people that were nice to him. Terrorists of any race, any religion, anybody, they always choose easy targets. These people are insane. These people are anti-American. Anyone who is determined to endanger American democracy, rule of law, and the Constitution in favor of a foreign nation that doesn't even like the United States like Gaza, you are an enemy of the United States. Anyone who will sit there and prioritize Donald Trump over the Constitution, you are an enemy of the United States. Democrats, grow a spine. Grow a spine. This soft-ass progressivism we have going on is enabling lunatics on the left. Now, thankfully, it seems like they're losing the popularity they used to have. But I just wanted to highlight the thinly veiled threats they're making toward Vice President Harris, number one. Number two, I want to highlight the fact that these people do not care about the United States. I need the left to become a constitutionalist loyal party. We need to become constitutionally loyal. That is the first and foremost thing. And if it becomes abundantly clear that you are in any way, shape, or form gleeful and happy and willing to compromise democracy and the Constitution in the name of something that has nothing to do with this country, like Donald Trump or Gaza, you are a threat to the United States. I don't care what race you are, what religion you are. And liberals need to stand on business about this because we're soft. We're a soft-ass party. One of the things the right has on us, they're very, very willing to stand on business when it comes time. We're not ready to do that. You know, we're not. We're not ready to stand on business. We have to be strong. We have to be strong. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna just say this: FBI, this y'all need to go check these out. Number one. Number two, Democrats, liberals, show strength, okay, and don't tolerate these people, because the reality is the rights of the LGBTQ community is hanging in the balance. The rights of women are hanging in the balance. The rights of the non-religious are hanging in the balance, and we know that although the MAGA movement hasn't gone full white nationalist just yet, we know what's coming. We know what's next. Your rights, American people, are hanging in the balance. Do not let MAGA meat munchers and riders and delusionally just naive Gaza supporters who are completely just apathetic about Americans, do not let these people compromise the rights of our vulnerable. Do not let them compromise the rights of our people. The United States comes first, then we can worry about everything else. I can't, this, now I sound like a fucking, now y'all making me sound like Candace Owens, bro. But it's the truth. We cannot be compromising cornerstone values like the Constitution, democracy, rule of law. We cannot be compromising those things for Gaza. The same Gaza who supported the attack on October 7th, we're not doing that, okay? I do not believe the United States shouldn't be sending aid to Gaza. I don't believe that we shouldn't be trying to mediate that conflict. But if you're asking me to compromise the land of my ancestors, the nation of my family and my ancestors, to appease Gaza, you are insane. Our rights are not for sale, G. Our rights cannot be compromised. The United States comes first. And if you are willing to compromise the LGBTQ of this country, the women of this country, people of color of this country, if you are willing to compromise the rights of the vulnerable in this country, I can't with you. You are not my friend. You are an enemy of the United States, period. If you're willing to compromise the existence of my country, because I can tell you this, if Trump becomes president, this nation inches further and further and further towards civil war or outright secession of blue states. I'm not sacrificing the existence of my home country for another country. No. So, with that being said, stand up to these people. When they sit there and try to slander Vice President Harris, stand up to these people. Do not be bullied by them. If they don't have the courage to stand up to Donald John Trump and his band of goons, then they will not be bullying Vice President Harris in any way, shape, or form. Period. Like, that's just not about to happen. Don't enable this. Don't accept this. I'm not saying we need to act like MAGA, but when you see these people, don't even pay them the time of day. I saw them complaining because Vice President Harris, shut them down at a rally, as she should. Y'all don't show Donald that kind of, because Trump gonna run you over with his little fucking Cybertruck. You know what's gonna happen. He gonna run your motherfucking ass over with his Cybertruck, get out the car, walk up on the stage, and do his little rally. That's what's gonna happen. You give a fuck about y'all? The man hosted Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago. Y'all ain't said none to Trump yet, because y'all are afraid of him. For some reason. I don't know what you're scared of, but you are scared. I mean, it is true that MAGA will put hands on you, but y'all are really scared. Democrats, it's time to show strength. Joe Biden, I love him to death, but he was too weak on MAGA. He was too weak. With Harris, we have to show strength. We cannot buckle. Our democracy is on the line. And anyone who seeks to sabotage the saving of this country needs to be shouted down. Engage with these people and ratio the shit out of them on Twitter. Post whatever you need to post. Fucking, what them people be posting? Like the K-pop gifs of the people whatever you got to do, shut these people down, okay? Will they be saying ratio with the people dancing and shit? Do that. I sound like a fucking boomer. I'm not even a boomer. Do whatever it is you got to do, bro. Shut this shit down. Look, I love everybody, and that's why it's so important. If you care about Gaza, because I have sympathy for the Gazan people. I've read enough about the conflict to know that it's not as simple as people try to make it seem. And it's really, really important for the people of Gaza to not be completely ousted from their home. In order for them to be saved, Trump cannot win. If Trump wins, we're going to be telling our kids about how there used to be a slit of land next to Israel called Gaza. I can tell you this right now. That's what's going to happen. We are going to be telling our kids stories about how there used to be this place called Gaza, and there was this massive war that shocked the entire world for months on end. That's what the story's going to be. I am tired of far left people trying to bully liberal Democrats into stupid decisions that compromise our democracy. Not accepting it. We are going to not only try our best to save this country, but also to save the people of Gaza. But in order for that to happen, Trump cannot win. It's just that simple. If you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.